Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery with IIMFL and Smart Money Alliance. It is Friday morning, January 8th, 2021, 7:59 a.m. Central. We get together most weekdays at this time, a little bit before 8 o'clock Central, with our distribution partners. We have three primary types of distribution partners. We have affiliates. Who wouldn't want to be an affiliate? It's free, it's easy. You refer in clients and we help them raise capital. We actually guarantee them a minimum of $100,000 capital raise through the Access to Capital program. Secondly, we have credit literacy educators. Those are our experts that are focused on helping both entrepreneurs as well as individuals boost their credit. And thirdly, we have our leadership team, our joint venture incubator partners. We get together again most weekdays at this time. We've had a couple special trainings this week, but normally the pattern that we'll follow is at the top of the hour, we're going to talk about topics regarding the Access to Capital offering, and that's what we're getting ready to do momentarily here. And then we'll follow up and talk a little bit about Credit Boost. So depending upon which role you have with us will determine what type of campaigns you have. In other words, who are you trying to reach? And what is the value proposition that you're trying to convey? So I'm going to flip over to our website for a second here, IIMFL, and it states our mission statement. So we'll start with that. We are a nonprofit organization committed to narrowing the racial wealth gap by teaching financial literacy, improving credit scores, and facilitating the development of minority-owned small businesses. And we're not discriminatory. We work with all businesses, all business owners, regardless of gender, race, etc. So a big part of what we do in helping small businesses access capital is we go through a 4-week curriculum that you've probably gone through yourself or should go through. You've probably heard about it, and it's depicted here on the small business certification page. So it's a drop down right here. And so you'll see the 4-week curriculum. Where did this come from? Well, two things. The three of us that co-founded the nonprofit all worked for the SBA. We were SBDC, Small Business Development Center advisors, paid for by the SBA, all working through different colleges. And so with that, we worked with small businesses to do some of this. However, what we realized is that typically the SBA-based program has some shortfalls. We saw a lot of small businesses that were left behind that weren't being helped. And so we were bothered by that, saw a problem, wanted a solution. Also, I was personally a college professor, and I developed and taught something very similar to this curriculum over a full semester class. So students would pay the college per credit hour. It was 3 credit hours. I don't know what they paid, $500 or so to take my class. And then I would teach them much of the same curriculum. Now what we're doing is offering it to the general public. They don't have to go enroll in college. They don't have to wait 16 weeks, 12 to 16 weeks. We can knock it out in 4 weeks. You should be familiar with this content and frankly, very proud of this content. We use award-winning curriculum, partially developed by the FDIC and promoted by the SBA. I mean, it's the real deal. And you can even go in and sample the different lessons here. But our model is based around each week having an educational topic to build financial literacy, but most importantly, then helping the participants implement what they've learned. So let's focus on just week 1. And I want to build more value in your mind of how important this is, how you should be very proud, very excited to offer the gift of access to capital to small businesses that you come into contact with. So we'll focus just on week 1 today, and we're going to go deeper into it. So the educational topic is planning for a successful small business. So I need each of you to participate here. If you'll go to your computer or your device, we're going to use the Q&A function, question answer function of Zoom. It's like chat. And I'd like each of you to tell me why it's important for a business to have a written business plan. So Anna Marie, Barry, Beatrice, Billy, Kwong, David, Dion, Erica, Joseph, Josh, Robert, Simone, Victor, Will, and others, I would like you to please type in the Q&A box of Zoom why it's important for a small business to have a written business plan. Why do you think it's important? So again, I'm waiting for you. So William, Will, Anna Marie, Barry, Beatrice, Billy, Kwong, thank you, David, Dion, Erica, Joseph, Josh, Robert, Simone, Victor, and others. So we're getting some responses. Well, and I'll let you respond. I'll give you my opinion, and it's just mine. But business plans serve two purposes: an internal purpose and an external purpose. An internal purpose allows us to flush through what we're going to do, what we're going to sell, how much we're going to charge for it, who we're going to sell to, identify who our competitors are, and be able to understand why we're different, why we're better. So from an internal perspective, it's important for us to really have a deep dive into our business, to think through it and have, I guess, a good plan. Secondly, externally, if we're trying to get funding, it's really important because that banker, that lender, that extender of credit doesn't know what you know. They can't just plug into your brain. So the business plan serves as a written, commonly understood document to convey all those things we just talked about: what you do, why you're different, who you sell to, how much money you're going to make, and so forth, to be able to get to the third party that you're trying to get money from. So statistically, what we know, well, before we get to statistics, emotionally, what we know, most small business owners, most entrepreneurs don't really want to sit down and develop a comprehensive business plan. They would rather be doing, they'd rather be making money rather than planning. And I respect that. So it's a little bit pushing the rope, but for the reasons we said, it's going to be better for them internally, better for them externally. But the statistic I was getting to a moment ago is that it's proven that businesses that have a written business plan are 43% more likely to be successful. So in other words, it not only is an academic exercise, it has practical benefits. And you can't help from it benefiting because you're vetting through ideas and assumptions, and you're not just doing, you're thinking. So I'm going to ask then each of you are entrepreneurs and you're partners with us, whichever role you may be in. You may be an affiliate, you may be a credit literacy educator, and or you may be a joint venture incubator partner. So I'm going to ask each of you now, do you have a written business plan for our relationship, for our business? Because if you believe that it's important for clients, why would it not be important for you? So Anna Marie, Barry, Beatrice, Billy, Kwong, David, Dion, Erica, Mark, Joseph, Josh, Robert, Simone, Victor, Will, and others, do you each have a written business plan with detailed financial projections for our relationship that you can turn to right now and say, okay, I project I'll make X dollars in January of 2021. In February, I think it'll grow to X plus what? Are we walking the walk? Are we just out blindly just preaching academic topics? Because what I know, and I'm going to show you the software that we use here that we provide for free for participants going through the program for Access to Capital clients or Capital Ready 3.0 clients, is that this is good. This is very good. It's collaborative, it's cloud-based. But my concern is some of you may only have superficial knowledge of it. And so while I'm happy to get together with you most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock and talk about it, if you're not actually doing it, then you're missing out. Same with Credit Boost. Let's take Barry, who's on the call here. Barry enrolled in Credit Boost. Bam! Already his credit score has gone up significantly because we added a seasoned trade line. And so what does that do to Barry's perspective of the Credit Boost program? You cannot go to Barry and say, oh, it doesn't work. He's like, forget you. It works. It works. I did it. So on the access to capital, I'm not here to pitch you to go develop a business plan, but I would like you to be thoughtful that if you've not gone through this process, you probably are not going to be as confident nor as competent to convey it to others. But my goal today is to help clog that gap, fill that gap with an additional knowledge, even if you don't go through it individually. Okay, so with that being said, and I'm looking at your responses, and a couple of you have put together written business plans, and that's great. What we know that we want to do is our goal is to work with you to help at least one client a day, a very modest goal, 30 clients a month. So when the clients come in, regardless if they're coming into the Access to Capital program, which is free, no cost up front, guaranteed $100,000 capital raise, or they're coming into the Capital Ready Package 3.0, or frankly, if they're going through just a standalone educational topic, this is the curriculum. We start with week 1. They will be assigned a mentor. They'll be working with that mentor once a week for 4 weeks as they go through it. We're going to teach them about planning for a small business. You can view it here, and we're going to provide them access to Live Plan, just like we did for Mr. Steele right here. He's a real client, not a made-up client. So I'm going to walk you through and spend a little bit of time looking at what the client's experience is just from week 1. I mean, this is $1,000 value, at least, just from what they're getting from week 1. And if you're driving them into Access to Capital, how much do they pay to get started? 0. Okay, so Live Plan is a vendor of ours, a strategic partner. We have a contract with them, and we provide Live Plan access to each client that's going through Access to Capital or Capital Ready 3.0, or even the small business certification. If we're going to get together and teach some classes in person, whereby we go through this 4-week curriculum in 1 day in 8 hours versus 4 weeks, again, we will provide them Live Plan access. We pay for that. They don't have to. So Live Plan is broken down across this horizontal menu. There's a pitch. There's the plan, and we'll go into each of these. There's the forecast, the benchmarks. We can create a schedule with milestones, and then there's the business dashboard. Each of these start by prompting the client to watch an on-demand video, short and very, very to the point. And so you or your clients, when you first access Live Plan, will have a chance to watch each of these videos. I'm not going to consume your time watching these videos on our training today, but so you know that they're available. So let's go ahead and we'll skip pitch for now. We'll go over to plan, and we're going to skip the video. But just so you know, you can always go to the help and go back and watch videos, even though we skipped it. Now, once they've gone in and skipped it or watched the video, it doesn't put it right in their face again. It just is there until the first time that they started that section. So here we have the business plan, and you can see that there's an outline, with the first main category being executive summary, the second being the opportunity, the third being execution, the fourth being company information, and the fifth being financial plan. What's really awesome as we're working over in the forecast tab, which we'll get to in a minute, it actually imports in the graphs that we need. So it feeds automatically into the business plan. And then as we're creating this, we can actually export it as a Word or as a PDF in some really nice graphics. But let's start with the executive summary. So the executive summary identifies the problem. Now, this is not the problem that the business owner has, it's the problem in the marketplace. So we can go over here and click edit, and it summarizes instructions. It says, summarize what you wrote in the problem we're solving section. What is it that your customers need and cannot find elsewhere? So if we were to go ahead and start on this process together, and let's just focus on the credit boost side for a second, we could write something like, most Americans suffer from bad credit, which impacts their access to and cost of housing, transportation, education, and business funding. And again, you could be more elaborate, but that's what we're defining. The problem that the marketplace has, not the problem that I have. I need $100,000. So then we go to the solution. And so notice with the comments, so as we're working with clients, we can add comments, they can add comments because it's cloud-based. Both they and us have access to it. Now let's go down to solution. And again, there could be more written there in the amount of time we have. We're going to do it briefly. The solution is, as a credit literacy educator, I will educate individuals and groups about how to increase credit scores by 100 plus points in just 30 to 60 days via the Credit Boost program. And again, I understand everybody has different businesses. I'm just giving you an example here of what one of our credit literacy educators might write. And so then we identify the target market, who our competition is, and it works the same. You click on edit. Now, when we're working with clients, we let them know, hey, if there's a section that you're not sure about, just leave it blank for now. That's okay. We'll work on it together. So we don't want them to be stressed or concerned. Again, these financials will import in from the forecast, which we're going to go over and look at in a moment. But one of the most important sections is financing needed. This is where we identify how much capital we're looking for our business and what we're going to use it for. And so we might say, as a credit literacy educator, I am seeking $100,000 in business funding for the following. And so then we could identify what we're going to use it for. It's important that the client articulate specifically how much money they're looking for and what they're going to exactly use it for. So let's say that we're seeking working capital for salaries covering the first 60 days. And let's say you're paying yourself 10 grand a month, so that would be $30,000. Let's say that I'm looking for a sales and marketing budget. You put that in. Maybe we want a company car. I mean, it doesn't matter what we're using it for, but the point is, on financing needed, we need to identify how much money and then what we're going to be using the money for, because that can impact where we go get the capital. So it's pretty snazzy to use. As you go through all these different sections, they follow the same concept. If the client's not sure, they can skip it. We can help them with it. They click edit, and they can cut and paste if they have some of that information already, or write it from scratch. Okay, so that is the plan section. We can click on these other tabs and you can see the outline version. We can download and print like we talked about and do some really neat themes to look at cool. Of course, we could import our logos and so forth. So there's the plan. My recommendation is log in and use it for yourself, because by using it yourself, A, having a plan will help you be more successful, statistically speaking, and B, you'll also be much more knowledgeable about the client experience. Let's go over to forecast. So as I mentioned before, each section starts with a little embedded video that they can watch or skip. We'll skip it for the time being. I do encourage that you watch the videos before you get started. And then there's financial tables. We'll be able to create profit and loss balance sheets and cash flow statements. And so we'll get started with this and look at it. So let's say that we want to add some revenue in, and we're just using an example being a credit literacy educator. So let's start with that. So where does our money come from? Well, we get paid based upon the credit score improvement of the clients that we've generated. So we're going to call this performance fees. And you can be more elaborate. And then we hit next. Now it asks, well, what kind of revenue stream is this? And so this is based upon unit sales, because the more clients that we enroll in Credit Boost, the more that we will have credit score increase, the more income that we'll make. Now it asks, is it going to always be the same or will it vary? Well, you and I know it's going to vary. So we're not going to choose constant. We're going to choose varying over time. And then it pops up this new screen, which is really easy to use. So now we're going to project how many units of Credit Boost that we're going to sell each month, or how many clients. Frankly, you don't sell anything as an educator. All you do is refer them into your landing page. But we know we have an average of 30 a month. But let's assume that we don't stay stagnant, that we grow, because some of your current clients will refer in other clients. Your key influencers will refer in more. Maybe you're going to get more effective in your online marketing. Maybe you're going to start educating in person. So we'll do it simple, and we'll say that we expect to grow 10% a month. Well, I screwed that one up, sorry. So 30 here. And then now we're growing by 10%. Oh, sorry. Try it one more time. And so we're growing here. And so what you see is it's creating a graph. And there's going to be some seasonal effects. There's going to be some months that are better than others. We can even pull the graph with our cursor up and down. Let's say we have a big educational event we're doing in March. So it goes, instead of linear, it has a little bit of a spike, and you can go on through and continue to populate it. But for now, we'll just project out 4 months for the time's sake, but you can see that you can continue to project as we go. Okay, so now it's asking, well, what's the revenue going to be? Now, what we know is that we're going to make an average of $100. I'm sorry, we're going to make an average of $300 to $500 per client, depending upon your agreement with us. We'll just be conservative and say 300 per. So now, just based upon that, we're anticipating $9,000 of revenue this month, about $10,000 next month. We're going to pop up to 16.2, 11.7 in April. And of course, we didn't continue to project out, but that would make this number higher. And of course, if we kept going out 3 years, then we'd have 21 and 22 as well. But I'm just trying to give you a little sample. So with that being said, then we need to go over and put in our costs. Well, what is our direct cost going to be? Let's say that you want to pull a salary out. And we talked about that on a recent training. So let's say that you're going to set up a salary. And let's say that you're going to do 1,000 a week. We'll just say 5,000 a month base pay starting in January. Save and close that. So now we have, because we're on direct cost. So now this shows cost. So then if we go to our profit and loss statement, after our salary, it starts to show how much profit is left over. Now, we didn't keep adding income in, so that's why it shows a loss here. Not because we're losing money, we stopped adding more revenue projections in. But now it starts to create an income statement for us, and even a statement of cash flows. So this is a cursory overview. The best thing for you to learn more about it is to plug in and create your own business in Live Plan. So we can create the forecast and end up having all the different financial statements that we need. Now, what we didn't discuss is pitch. So let's go back to pitch and then we'll open it up for questions. Pitch, again, there's a video, but we'll skip it for now. Pitch is that one pager. And of course, you'd change it from John Steele to, you would change it to the company name. So we'll say sample company. And then you can put in a logo. So let's pick a logo. Let's say we're going to put in the money there. Did that come up? No, I didn't get the logo in, but it's okay. So the pitch here is the concept of a one pager that summarizes, and then it does import in the revenue figures, which of course we didn't complete. So with that being said, we recommend clients start with the plan, then go to forecast and actually do the pitch last, because it's kind of that consolidated summary. And the benchmarks is helpful because we can actually go in and set up a timeline of when we think things are going to happen. And we can even look at different, I'm sorry, that was schedule. Sorry, benchmarks are industry averages, where we compare our expected projection versus the industry as a whole. This is very important for clients because let's say they're going to open a restaurant. And if their expected profit margin is outside the norm of the industry, that's going to cause concern or a red flag with the lender. Sorry, that was benchmarks, industry benchmarks. What I had skipped ahead to was setting up a schedule. And so the schedule, we can set up milestones. So for example, enroll first 30 credit boost clients. And we want to have that done by January 31st. Who's responsible? The credit literacy educator, for example. And it can even be set up to send a reminder. So it's just a kind of a task list, but it's called milestones. Okay, so with that, what I want to do is start fielding out questions that you have to make sure that you have a deep understanding and a deep appreciation of how we're helping clients prepare for funding. It's not as simple as they just sign up today. It's like, oh, well, let's go to funding. Well, we have to build a loan package. So what we're going to do is we're going to improve their financial literacy along the way. And then we're going to also implement what we've learned. We're going to learn about business planning in week 1, and then we're going to create a lender compliant business plan. All right, so let me look at your questions, comments, concerns. If you have others, go ahead and add them in, and we're going to vet through them in regards to how we help clients get prepared for funding, and frankly, what you should be doing as well, which is thoroughly planning for your business. Okay, so let me see if there's any questions other than the feedback that you all were giving earlier. Great comments and great feedback from many of you on the questions I had earlier. Okay, and so Josh has a good question. So we should have a separate business plan for each business. So some of you are what you call serial entrepreneurs, right? You got multiple different projects going. You're doing real estate on one side, you're a credit literacy educator on another, so forth. So you should really have a separate business plan, a separate capital raise strategy for each of your businesses. Those would be separate and distinct. Otherwise, they become confusing, maybe to yourself. Let's imagine when we were back doing revenue streams. Let's say that I'm a plumber and a credit literacy educator. Does it really make sense on that one live plan to talk about how many new home installations I'm going to do and how many Credit Boost clients I'm going to enroll. Those are two very separate. So typically it's best to have separate business plans, separate financial forecasts for each project. That's the term, project. Thank you for that question, Josh. All right, who else has any questions about the value proposition? Because we want you to please consider the goal. Enroll one access to capital client per day per month. And so that's going to enroll about 30 clients. There's no upfront cost for them. There's a $100,000 guaranteed capital raise. You're going to get paid generously off of it, and all you do is feed them into your landing page. We take it from there. Any questions that anyone has on access to capital, the 4-week process, or specifically what we're doing in week 1, because this is strong. And again, if you've not created your own plan and live plan, we really reach out to us and let's do that, because you will be more likely to be successful and make more money by being a good planner. Any questions on this before we pivot over to our second topic today, which we normally go to Credit Boost at the bottom of the hour? Okay, so let's switch over then. So those of you that are credit literacy educators and or joint venture incubator partners, I think you're probably on fire right now. We're seeing tremendous response from the Credit Boost program. Again, if someone's in the Access to Capital program, on week 2, we do the soft credit pull, so we kind of organically identify if they would benefit from Credit Boost. But you certainly can and probably should be reaching out to the marketplace at large and driving in, on average, 1 client per day to your landing page for the Credit Boost program. We've done the training. If you go to the career tab, you'll see that there's the top training modules here at the top. So if you need training on sales or product, it's here. I'm not going to be redundant. Really, I'm here to answer the questions that any of you have about what questions do any of you have about what you need to do today and through the weekend to go out and enroll at least 1 client per day in Credit Boost. Because we know what? No upfront cost. You don't have to do any selling. You have a landing page. It has an embedded YouTube video, just like this one. You can educate them, feed them into your landing page. We take it from there. Who needs help, guidance, support on Credit Boost? Because that's the topic we're on right now. Type it into Q&A. Happy to help you. So I'm scrolling through here, looking for anyone that has questions. And some of you are knocking it out of the park, so there's no question about that. Some of you are not. And so if you don't have a landing page and you need it, then what you're going to do is you're going to email us, right? I'm not smart enough or fast enough to assimilate a bunch of individual requests during a live Zoom. So if you need your landing page for Credit Boost, email us and request it. If you need access to live plan and don't have it, guess what? Email in the request so we can get that processed. But if there's, so it's a simple request like that, email it. But if there's something you don't understand, you need support on, let's use our last few minutes together here to address it. Because if it's a barrier for you, it may very well be a barrier for others. So let me look at what we have here. Josh asks, so if someone signs up for the Access to Capital program and then the Credit Boost, does he get paid on both? Yes. So if you generated the client, then you get paid off of both their capital raise as well as off their credit improvement from Credit Boost, because it's 2 separate agreements the client is engaged in. You generated the client. As long as you're in good standing, you get paid for both. As far as ads, Victor's asking about ads. You know, I think we did a training. Let me go back over here, Victor, and see if we talked about sales training here. But essentially it's just taking this value proposition that's here in your face and spinning it the way you want to spin it out to your target market, whether it be on Craigslist or working through pastors like Robert's doing, reaching out to realtors like Joseph does. We got to develop a campaign, and the campaign is, which program are you focused on? Credit Boost or Access to Capital? Who's your target audience? It kind of comes back to Live Plan, vetting through all of that. But I don't have a whole lot more content for you, Victor, than really what is built on to this page here. I mean, this has the hot buttons and the features and the benefits. There's, of course, the flyer that we created for each of you. And that's the content. So you can just play with, mix and match the hot phrases and get it out there. But certainly the fact that it's no upfront cost credit repair, if you want to label it that, will get a lot of interest. Billy asked, what does a client get when they submit their information on the landing page for Credit Boost? We're going to send them the Credit Boost agreement, Billy. We're going to send them the Credit Boost DocuSign, and we're going to copy you off of it. So copy you on it. So as soon as they execute it, we execute it, and you get a final copy, your carbon copied on it, Billy, so you know that client's enrolled. If you never received a completed DocuSign, then that referral never enrolled. William's asking about trade lines. There's many different trade lines that are available. The $10,000 trade line is one that we're able to report directly. So let's talk about that. Some people get confused by it. So let's take Anna Marie. She's here on the webinar. So if I went to Anna Marie's business, let's say she's a baker. So I go to Anna Marie, the baker, and I said, Anna Marie, I have a restaurant. I'd like to buy some of your baked goods, maybe at wholesale, some sort of discount. And I'm going to sell them over at my restaurant as my desserts. And Anna Marie says, sounds good to me. So we agree on whatever discount, whatever pricing. And say, Anna Marie, but I'd like to pay you afterwards. So will you give me credit terms? Anna Marie, will you give me net 30, or will you extend to me some credit terms so I can get your goods, go sell them at my restaurant, and pay you after I've made the sale? And she said, yeah, that's fine. So she has just extended credit to me in that simple example. So as a business owner, any of us can extend credit to other business owners. That is what we've began doing. And so now we can extend credit to you, and then now we report it to the credit bureaus. And so that's credible, it's legal, it's ethical. So William's asking about the $10,000 trade line. Well, you can apply, and we can approve you for a $10,000 trade line, legal and ethical. And guess what? It reports on your credit. So it's no different than what Anna Marie the baker can do. Any of you, all of you are business owners to some extent of one or more business models. You can extend credit to other people too. We've decided we're going to start extending credit. And so we can extend primary credit, and we can extend seasoned age trade lines. And the $10,000 trade line that William's asking about is one of those. Okay, anyone else have any questions today? We're about out of time. We spent the first 30 minutes talking about Live Plan and how it fits into the first week of Access to Capital, and why you should be actively using it yourself to improve the probability of your success, and you should be using it to be familiar with it enough that you can convey the value proposition with firsthand knowledge. Then we've talked about Credit Boost for a few minutes. So William asked, can we offer AU accounts to clients? Absolutely. That's what Credit Boost does, William. So Credit Boost offers both primary and age trade lines legally, ethically, morally to clients. Cost them nothing up front, and then you're paid off of the improvement of their credit score in the back end. On average, you're going to make $300 to $500 per referral, no selling involved. Robert asked about the trade lines. Right now, Credit Boost is only for personal credit. It's not for business credit. Right now, Credit Boost is only on personal credit. Great questions. Things I should have clarified. They didn't. David asked, can we do aging on trade lines? So some trade lines can be reported as aged, some can't. So it depends upon the trade line structure. But yes, absolutely, we can add aged trade lines. And David, you're an example of that. We added to your credit profile, David, over a 2-year-old $20,000 revolving account with perfect payment history and low revolving utilization. And I anticipate by the 2nd or 3rd of February, that'll be on your credit profile, and you're going to see a massive boost. Okay, and we do not, the Credit Boost link and landing page should have been disseminated to all of you. If any of you don't have it, go ahead and email request in, because it's very difficult. As I mentioned earlier, some of you want to ping me with a lot of individual requests. I'm conducting this Zoom webinar for a large number of people, so I don't have the ability to assimilate all those individual requests. So I'll keep showing you. Email in specific requests, please. All right, so in summary, Credit Boost, legal, ethical, moral, and it's really not much different than what each of you can do with your businesses. You can extend credit to other businesses and you can report that. That's what we're doing. There's the secret sauce. There, it's out there for everybody to know. We extend credit. We have access to other trade lines as well, but we can extend credit and we can report it. It's really that simple. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day, a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday morning. We will not have the 10 o'clock Central webinar today due to travel schedules. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.